Hey guys, in this video we will take a look at a Case 3 recovery in DCS World while using the VAICOM Realistic ATC plugin for VoiceAttack. Inbound.
30132945510.7.9.
301, Courage Marshal, Case 3 recovery, CV1 approach, expect final bearing 107, altimeter is 2993, 301, Marshal Mothers 287, radio 23, DME Angels 8, expected approach time is 36.
301, DME Angels 10, expected approach time is 0, approach button is 15.
301, read back correct.
ATC called for a Marshal stack on the 287 degree radial, 23 DME at Angels 8. This just happens to be on the final bearing to the carrier. Typical real-world operations have Marshal stacks held 15 to 30 degrees from the final bearing. The course select on the UFC CSCL is set to 107, reciprocal of 287. 107 is the inbound course for the stack, and coincidentally the final bearing of the carrier. During the ATC communication exchange, I set up the TACAN and ILS, but did not turn on the ILS yet. That is simply my technique to declutter the heads-up display during the hold. I plan to flip the ILS switch just before we commence. Now that we are set up for holding, how do we get there and enter the hold? The short answer is we can eyeball it and hope it works out, but that could get messy. In the real world, the Marshal stack is protected by plus 30 degrees to minus 10 degrees from the assigned radial. This protected area does not allow climbs or descents. You need to enter at your assigned holding altitude, or you will need to contact Marshal for clearance to climb or descend. In this particular case, the 287 radial was assigned. The protected area would be 317 to 277. In the UFC course select, I can enter 317 and 277, or the reciprocal of those radials, to get a visual impression of the protected area on the HSI. Looking at my HSI, I am just outside of the protected area, so I can descend to Angels 8 now before turning towards the Marshal stack. But guess what? All of this is not currently in the game mechanics, so it is not crucial. For further information on this protected area around the Marshal stack, check out Jabber's Case 3 tutorial video from late 2018, link provided below in the description. So, to keep things somewhat civil and realistic in this mission, my plan is to descend to Angels 8, then at around 30 DME, begin a right-hand turn nearly perpendicular to the Marshal stack radial. Remember, this is the military, not civil aviation, so your common teardrop, parallel, and direct entries do not apply. As we approach the 287 radial, all we need to do is turn left, capture the inbound course to 23 DME, and begin our left-hand holding circuit. This is much easier than eyeballing 23 DME and then having to complete a left-hand 270-degree turn once we get there. Again, this is just technique to keep things simple for the sake of this video, as the current game mechanics do not simulate a protected area or enforcement of entry. As we enter the hold, we can be proactive and set up the cockpit for the approach and landing. I usually complete a flow from right to left. On the right, DDI, radar to silent, then set to FCS. AMPCD as desired. Earlier, I turned off the color map by pressing the Mode OSB twice, as the brightness is distracting. The RWR to off, left DDI to HUD, master arm switch to safe, anti-skid switch off, and hook bypass to carrier. The last two items I will set just before we commence are the tailhook down and the altitude switch to radar. Established.
301. Established Angels 8. State 6.2.
301. Roger, state 6-2.
Now that we are established in the holding pattern, the next critical item is our expected approach time. We need to monitor the clock and adjust our holding pattern so that we cross 23 DME on the 287 radial at 36 minutes past the hour, plus or minus 10 seconds, and begin our approach to the carrier. In the real world, anything outside of that window would require a call to Marshal so that adjustments could be made to aircraft ahead or behind you. In our case, there are 2 aircraft in the queue ahead of us and no one behind us. Aircraft are released at 1-minute intervals, so leaving early would seriously screw up separation. Commencing.
301. Commencing. State 5.4. Altimeter 29.93.
301. Radar contact 22 miles. Expect final bearing 107. 301. Switch approach.
301.
Check in. Check in.
301. Checking in. 20 miles. 301. Approach. Final bearing 107. 301.
Platform.
Altitude.
301. Platform. 301. Roger. Fly bullseye. 301.
At 10 DME, begin reducing your airspeed. The goal is to be fully configured by 6 DME. Slowly reduce your throttles to idle, select flaps to half, trim as required to maintain 1200 feet. Select gear down and continue trimming to maintain altitude. Increase thrust as required. Then select flaps to full. There is no rush in this segment to slow down, and I find this method helps stabilize the aircraft by 6 DME. Think flaps, gear, flaps. By 6 DME, we want about 150 knots and 1200 feet. Engine thrust to maintain on-air speed and level flight will be about 88 to 90%. Oh yeah, continue maintaining lateral navigation with the ICLS localizer.
301. Final radar contact 8 miles. 301.
At 6 DME, you will pick up the glide slope indication. Do not follow the glide slope yet. Continue maintaining 1200 feet and the ICLS localizer.
301. ACLS lock on 6 miles. St. Needles. 301. On and on. 301. Concur. Fly mode 2. 301.
At 3 DME, assuming you have maintained at or near 1200 feet, you will have glide slope intercept. Transition your vertical navigation to the ICLS glide slope by slowly reducing your throttles to maintain a 3.5 degree glide path. A target rate of descent is 600 to 700 feet per minute, but do not chase the vertical speed in the heads-up display. Power and trim as required to maintain angle of attack and glide slope.
On bypass. On course. 3/4 of a mile. Call the ball.
Hornet, ball.
301. Hornet ball. 4.5.
Roger ball. 26 knots down the angle. Fly the ball.
Well, I hope this video helps out those learning Case 3 recovery procedures in DCS World. Thanks for watching. Talk to you next time. See ya.